I just wanted to share this really cool story with you about how spirit can sometimes really make themselves known to people by feeling something physically when they are touching you or in your space. So I have this wonderful story to share with you. About 15 years ago, this lady had contacted me, and I had her name sitting on the desk and thought that I would get round to doing a reading for her. And um, I was sitting in my office, and my ex husband at the time was sitting in the dining room, and I suddenly felt this like finger in my ear, but it was wet. Like, when people do that revolting thing where they lick their finger and then they stick it in your ear, and it's called like a wet willy or something like that. I felt that in my ear. Like I was sitting in the office and I just felt this in my ear, and I shuddered, and I looked across to my ex-husband and I said, "What? I just got a spirit stick a wet finger in my ear and I felt it like it was real." And he said, "I know who that is." And he told me the name of the guy. He used to know this guy. And he said, I said, "Oh, well, that's the girl that I'm going to do a reading for. That's her dad." So he'd come through and physically let me know he was here by putting his finger in my ear. And then I told her that that's what I'd felt. And she said, "Oh my goodness, that's my dad." And she felt very comforted to know that he was around me and he'd shown himself in that way. So it was like a thing he did with everybody. He was a practical joker, and he loved to um, just muck around with people, and that was something that he would do. And she really knew it was him because of that, what he was doing to me. So that's about 15 years ago. Totally forgot about it. Then about, I don't know, last week sometime, I was getting dinner ready, and I'm just standing in the kitchen. I was on my own, home alone, and I felt that again. Like I felt this wet finger go in my ear, and I suddenly went, "Oh, that's that guy that does that. I remember him. That was a long time ago. I wonder what he's doing here in my kitchen. I wonder if his daughter's going to contact me soon." And then I just started thinking about him, and then I thought, I wonder if I should share that story. And then I kind of forgot about it and just got on with cooking dinner. And about 3 days later, the lady it was her dad that had passed, she sent me a message. And she said, "I just want to share this with you, that her little niece, who's only about 5 years old and just starting school, she talks about her Poppy all the time." Now, she's not met Poppy in the physical, but obviously she would have known Poppy in the non-physical, because before he'd passed away and before she was born, so they would have connected with each other in the non-physical. So they do know each other, but they didn't know each other in the physical world. And she says that Poppy is with her, and he goes to school with her. And when she forgets what the teachers have told her at school, Poppy reminds her. And she can see him quite clearly and doesn't understand why everyone else in the house can't see him as well as she can. So, I love children that can do that. So that was my little story about this guy who, when he wants to be known with me and I know it's him, he sticks his finger in my ear and I instantly know it's him. But I want to also talk about children and when they're picking up spirit. Quite often, in the case where a relative, a grandparent has died, or a parent has died before your child is born, but when your child comes into the world, they know who they are. They already know who they are, and they can say that they're in the house, and they're. So something that you can do is get a photo of that person and show the child and say, "Do you know who this is?" Because quite often they will say, "Yeah, I know who that is," without ever having met them in the physical. So yeah, kids are fantastic at and seeing things like that. So I just wanted to share that little story with you, and I'll talk to you soon.